Good morning, everybody. All right, we're moving into working through our first synthesis timed writing essay. So you have a link to copy the packet, and the topic is, you guessed it, wind farms. Yay! So when you click on this link, it's going to prompt you to make a copy, and then that way you can highlight or write on it, color it, whatever. This is your copy. But what I do want to invite you to look at is really focusing on just this first page for our class meeting time, because you'll see the next item that I have you complete for today is really just based on this first page. So if you remember some of the reminders I talked about yesterday, one of the things I said to try was to really look at establishing your opinion or your position prior to reading the sources, so you come to them with a little bit more of a focused eye. So I'm just going to read this first paragraph to you really quick, and then while I'm reading through that, try to figure out if you can understand the bigger picture and what your opinions or preconceived notions are about maybe the bigger picture other than just wind farms, okay? So it says, in response to our society's increasing demand for energy, large-scale wind power has drawn attention from governments and consumers as a potential alternative to traditional materials that fuel our power grids, such as coal, oil, natural gas, water, or even newer sources such as nuclear or solar power. Yet the establishment of large-scale commercial-grade wind farms is often the subject of controversy for a variety of reasons. So two major things: our society's increasing demand for energy. Think about what's going on and what you know about our society's demand for energy. What kind of energy? And then you have the establishment of large-scale commercial-grade wind farms is a subject of controversy. Why would they be a subject of controversy? So just within those 2 points, you can automatically think, well, what do I know about energy? What do I agree with or not agree with? And then this idea of bringing in these large commercial grade wind farms. And you can look at some of the pictures to look at what that looks like. What does that do to the places that are, bringing those wind farms in? So right then and there, you should have some idea, even if it's not a solid, I believe this or I believe that, you should have at least a grip on kind of what the situation is, right? Think of the rhetorical situation. Like, obviously, we're not going to need to deal with persona, but thinking about, okay, well, it's going to change based on who's doing the asking for these wind farms. What about the town that is next to it? What about those residents? They're going to think something different than, let's say, the people who are going to be actually getting to work there and need those jobs, right? Maybe political leaders are going to have different perspectives than people who are more civilian-like and don't really, know a lot about these policies. And just thinking about how all of those different perspectives can play a part, and thinking about the exigence. Why is that those energy conversations so urgent right now? What's going on with the world, or, in certain areas of your country or whatever, that are going to prompt these demands for energy? So I'm already thinking that in just this short little first paragraph, okay, before I've even gotten to the sources. So once you're done with that, you're going to go to this assignment that says Synthesis Essay Working Thesis. And using the Create tab, I would like for you to come up with some sort of thesis or establish, some kind of position based on the prompt. So the prompt says right here, right, you synthesize material from at least 3 of the sources in which you develop your position on the most important factors that an individual or agency should consider when deciding whether to establish a wind farm. So right then and there, I've already been thinking about these things. And so when anything is coming in, not even just wind farms, when you're going to plan, to build a mall or a Chick-fil-A or an HEB, what things have to be considered, right? And then you thinking about the energy crisis or the energy demand. How does that play into the conversation? So you probably already have an idea, even if it's basic and vague, of what you might want to say. But for our working thesis purposes, I only want you to address your position. I don't necessarily want you to think about important factors. You can try prior to looking at your sources, but I really want, looking at what is my position on establishing wind farms? Is it a good thing? Is it something that causes controversy because this? Is it something that um, is a necessity because of something else? What do I want to say about that? And what do I think about that? So even though wind farms seem like this totally radical idea, like why do I even care about wind farms? It's something that you probably should care about because you are going to be eligible to vote within a few years. And these are the things people care about. These are things that are going to affect you. Old people, whatever. This is your planet. You're going to be here for a long time. And so you probably should be invested with what's going to happen with it. So think about it that way. And hopefully it will be a little bit easy for you to kind of think through your personal opinions about what coming to the topic. All right, so that's it for today. Just craft a working thesis and work through the rest of your sources. I recommend that on a sheet of notebook paper, you start handwriting some notes. But if you're not ready to do that yet, you can do it straight on the document because it is your copy. The synthesis packet is your copy. And then tomorrow we'll talk a little bit about the sources. We'll talk a little bit about how we're going to start molding our outline together. And then we'll work through how to attack the essay on Friday. All right. All right, everybody. I look forward to seeing you guys on Zoom. Have a great day.